So I'm with a couple of Aussies who I'm sure you'll recognise from the internet, the grade cricketer Ian and Sam alongside me. We're just outside of Hagley Oval. Important that we mention that. We're here for the second test match between Australia and New Zealand. Not sure how it's going to go, but I wanted to talk to you guys because you have become a bit of a sensation here in Aotearoa. Last night I watched you and your comedy show at a lovely tapas bar in Christchurch. Sold out very quickly. First time to New Zealand. I'm a little upset it's your first time to New Zealand.
It's embarrassing and we are ashamed of it, but by the same token, when you're Australian, you can just be indifferent about New Zealanders because that's our brand. And I think you guys feel good about that. You want Australians to be arrogant and shameless and a little bit ignorant about things, so we're happy to play the role.
Yeah, and you're doing it very well so far. How have you enjoyed your time in Christchurch?
First place we had to go to unite the cultures of New Zealand and Australia was in a margarita and tapas bar. We thought, where is the best place to celebrate those two wonderful friends across the Tasman, fighting wars together, creating biscuits and cookies? We thought that's sort of been the two main achievements of our country so far.
Yeah.
So we thought margarita, tapas, comedy, melting pot. That's why we're here.
It doesn't get any better. And we're here to talk about cricket, obviously, which is also the bonus. And you started the focus of the show last night talking a bit about why Kiwis and Aussies have this rivalry. Why do you think it is?
Well, it's hard for us to know because we don't really pay a lot of attention to New Zealanders. So we're like I don't really understand why Kiwis have an issue with Australians. Like, was it Greg Dyer's catch? Was it Martin Snedden's catch? Was it Brett Lee's beamer? Was it
I didn't mind the beamer when it got mad.
He bowls wheels. Was it anything Brad Haddon? Was it the underarm ball? I mean, I guess I'm putting a few ideas together as to why. We just we like our New Zealand cousins. To be honest, when I think of Christchurch and New Zealand, like I grew up with rugby union, like it actually mainly is pain that you guys have caused us when it comes to rugby union. I appreciate this is a cricket show.
No, but you feel free to go. And
no, seriously.
We win that. So
yeah. But the Waratahs did beat the Crusaders the other day.
I didn't want to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
So therefore, let's call it even.
Yeah, let's call it even. I'd be very worried if I was the New Zealand rugby community. Australian rugby's back, baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
With a Kiwi at the helm.
Laura, you mentioned the rivalry though. Like, what is this rivalry you speak of? Because Australians love New Zealanders.
Do they though?
Yeah, I think so. That's been my experience.
Well, could you be a bit nicer to us at the cricket then?
Well, I mean, that's not really the role that we've taken in this kind of relationship, really. You know, you guys turn up, you have your very nice players, very good team, wonderful facilities, great hospitable relationship that you afford us, and then you roll over and you let us win. That's what happens. Like, New Zealand have had great teams the last few years. I've never seen it myself, and I'm not really that interested in it.
My dad tells me.
I see some highlights and scores in different websites that I frequent. Let's just leave it at that. And I'm just saying, I recognise that New Zealand is sometimes good. That's not my relationship to New Zealand cricket, okay? I'm just telling you what's happening with me.
Very nice.
Look, you make some valid points. You make some valid points, and I understand it. But you guys obviously love the game. Or do you love the game of cricket? You mentioned rugby. Okay.
Another tricky one.
It's a tricky question. We had Justin Langer at a live show once, and he asked us, like, downstairs in the green room, was like, "Do you love it, Sammy?" And I'm like, nah, it's sort of, it's a troubled relationship with the game. Like, and then he said, "No, do you love it?" And he looked me dead in the eyes.
And then you
and I
lied.
said, yeah. No, I love it, Jay.
Yeah, what do you mean, Joe? Yeah, all good.
And then he said, "Put his hand around my neck," and I was like, "Please, security." No, it's a troubled relationship. Of course, we love the game. I mean, we've been involved with it since we were kids. Grade cricket, which is what we kind of cover, is the level below state cricket. You have a dream that you nearly achieve, but you don't, and then you end up playing because it's all you've ever known, and you have a deep-seated fear of change. And it's where people go for their dreams to die. And there's a lot of darkness inherent within that, which we just try and cover in our show, and it seems to resonate with people.
Yeah, I'm not surprised it resonates with people, but do you ever go down some dark corners when you're looking at that element of people's dreams going to die?
Oh my goodness me, yes. But mostly when we're in the field, you're talking to a batsman. You're just talking about how much pain they're in right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Sam has said is correct. It's like, because the length of the game is so tormenting, and most of the time you're not playing, and also the best parts of cricket is when you're actually not participating, because you can relax. You don't have that anxiety of failure, or your dad potentially turning up, or thinking that he might turn up and then realising he's never going to turn up. So these are elements of the game that we can all relate to, surely.
Or when he arrives, sees you've gone out, and then he leaves.
That's
and
right.
then he's out of there.
That's a tough
Or
one.
he's hiding behind a tree, just playing because he doesn't want you to
He's
know that he's
embarrassed
there.
and he's
And he's never
worried
told you
and
that he's proud of you or that he loves you or anything.
It is
but-
a tough time.
Yeah, it is. But like there are some redeeming things. You can speak to your mates in the pavilion, or you can engage in light horseplay with elderly umpires as well. And
I
so
hear
there
they're
are
into
there's
that.
swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, and sometimes a nice lunch is provided, which
Indeed.
is always good.
Yep.
Do you have a favourite format of the international stuff? Because you guys are covering a lot of cricket now as well as
Yeah.
talking about the great
Thanks for
cricket
mentioning
stuff.
that,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
I've got you.
Was there a little mention? Like, are you saying we're covering too much of it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we-
you're
you did say
saturating the
you said we
market.
sold out at the start.
Overexposed,
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
overexposed, but you know,
Kneecapping
we
the
can all be
mainstream
guilty of
media?
it.
Yeah.
No, go
Sorry.
you. Good for you. This is going on mainstream media. But do you have a favourite format that because it tends to be just the tests that you do?
Yeah. Long form because it's funnier. Like in long
Yeah.
form cricket, like more ridiculous things happen, so you can cover it better, and the failure for people is more pronounced. You know, so if they fail, they've got more time to wait, and you know, their careers are in greater jeopardy. So whereas like T20 cricket happens so quickly and everything's serious and it's all sort of science based and data driven, it's just less opportunity for humour to take place. And guys are getting better in modern cricket at dealing with failure. They understand not to get too far ahead of themselves, whether they succeed or fail, and that's really that's a real risk for our business. So I want Test cricket to remain, so that failure can kind of come to the fore more often.
Yeah. Okay, and so for you, it's you like the room to watch the failure?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, what we need is sort of T5, T4 kind of stuff. Let's try and get as much content out as possible to bring in those big bucks. Here's the problem I find, Laura McGoldrick, with shorter form cricket is that it's like it's fun, it's accessible, it's enjoyable, it's for children.
Yeah.
There's music, firework, families, celebration. That's not what cricket is.
Yes.
What is
Cricket
cricket?
is pain.
Yeah.
That's what cricket is.
Brutality.
It's brutality.
Yeah,
Yes.
torment. Sorry,
it's-
I'm a thesaurus, by the way. You keep talking, you just do that.
Just
Yeah.
bump
Yeah.
it
Keep
sometimes,
going, yeah.
It's elongated pain, you know. Like if you can leave someone at the crease, they might be struggling, but it's funnier to watch them struggle before their ultimate demise. In T20 cricket, for instance, you might just get frustrated that person's not giving you those little serotonin hits of sixes, fireworks, R&B dances, more fireworks going off, literal and figurative. I mean, that's not what cricket is. Cricket is pain.
It is actually a travesty that cricket has been organised to be something that people enjoy
Yeah, that's
and is
not-
monetisable and commercially viable, and also allows people to participate in society because they have time now to do other things like work and see their family.
Like you hate it, mate.
No, I take that as a wonderful insult. No, compliment. The great DOS.
We've taken this down a very dark alley, haven't we?
You have. You
Sorry.
really have. And I'm going to continue to do that and ask you about what you think of the Black Caps.
I think it's fraudulent.
Yeah.
Is that too far? Sorry.
This is
No,
so
I mean,
safe.
our take on New Zealand is, as Higo said, like wonderfully nice people have built a brand around playing the game in the correct spirit, always overachieve, you know, in big ICC tournaments. There was the World Test Championship final. I don't know why Australia wasn't there, and World Cups, etc. But at the end of the day, Australians are so ignorant and narrow-minded. We only respect people who perform against us. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, right. And we only respect people who it's all good. We only respect people who perform against us, and you don't perform against us. And I also don't believe any cricketer is actually a nice person if they participate in the game. So I'm curious and cautious and sceptical about the Black Caps.
Are you sceptical about the Black
Yeah,
Caps?
well, I mean, you would know them better than us, and like, don't you feel like you hear stories of like some tomfoolery, hijinks, you know, those funny guys in the team, like Tim Southey, for instance, is apparently a very funny guy. Just our experience with him has been so like straighty 180, right down the middle. And don't you want more from your athlete? Just a little bit of like, just I want to peek behind the curtain, you know. What are those skeletons in the closet? That's what I'm interested in. What are Tim Southey's skeletons in his closet?
I personally don't know, but I mean, I'm sure you probably best ask him. Actually,
Everybody has
but he would
skeletons.
give you a
Tim
straight
Southey looks like a
exactly.
10 out of 10 guy.
10
Any
out of
person
10.
who's a 10 out of 10
Yeah.
person is the person you have to worry about. That's the
Yeah.
person who has skeletons.
Yeah.
I want more 8 out of 10, 9 out of
Yeah.
10.
So how many 10 out of 10s have you got in the Australian team?
See, this is a problem. Like, again, our business is at high risk because of
Yeah.
their exemplary behaviour at
Yeah.
the moment. I don't trust it for a second.
No.
And I'm happy to say this publicly for the first time. Pat Cummins says he completes a cryptic crossword. Rubbish.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah. So next time
Yeah.
at a presser, if you see him, just say, "Come on, 5 across."
Yeah, 5
just
across.
give him a
And
him
see
a
how
clue.
he goes.
See how he goes. Yeah.
See how it goes. Okay, so if you find cricket, Payne, how do you go in a crypto?
No, I can't do it. Absolutely terrible.
Don't tell
terrible.
us to us.
I don't
We're
understand.
not claiming to be 10 out of 10.
Oh,
I
what
can do the 9-letter word or the quick crossword or whatever, cryptic. The brain doesn't
Do you do
wrap
Wordle?
around it. No, I used to, but that's I didn't want to start muting stuff on Twitter and whatever. I mean, we're getting into real nuanced territory now, aren't we? But yeah.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
you do Wordle?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Why?
was
Because I
too busy-
enjoy women. So,
I was too busy getting my compass out, looking which way the sky's going to go today.
How was the compass? No, he did get a compass out today, and because you wanted to know what was going to happen to the sun.
It's fascinating because it's the same here as what it is back home.
Yeah,
isn't it interesting?
Where the sun moves.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
so you also, that's not just a New Zealand thing.
No,
that
it's
you
an
got your
east-to-west thing
compass
as well.
out for.
Yeah.
No, you get your compass out both here and at
Oh,
home.
mate, Higgins comes out all the time.
All the time. All the time.
You get your compass out all the time.
Get my compass out all the time. Yeah.
And that's provided you with a lot of success off the field.
That's how I met my partner.
Yeah. Compass convention.
Usually, at some stage, you do have to. When you need to go for dinner.
It was a search and rescue situation, you understand?
Did they just drop you in some bushland and let you go?
It's a new dating app.
Marco.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We're really
Yeah.
Is that what date night looks like?
Yeah. Went to a search and rescue this weekend, babe.
She never replies.
I'll start in the south coast.
I'll put dinner down here and now you've got to find it. Oh yeah, good. Well, congratulations to you.
Thanks, we're really happy.
So thrilled you found each other. That's just fabulous.
Orienteering.
So one thing, orienteering.
Big fan.
Big fan. I obviously was very successful at that, but I never had it. Is it just strictly on your phone, or do you have one of those ones that's in a leather
How
pouch?
does it work?
I don't want to talk about this
He has a leather pouch. And a Swiss Army knife, but that's all he's got.
And good for you. So you should cricket, and I feel like that's one and the same. Good stuff. But you've got your partner, which you've met orienteering.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You also have a wife and children, and now you guys are hitting the road a lot more with work and going. Wait, how are you navigating that?
Well, I think you know. I get my compass out.
That's a pro, yeah.
Will she let me
Yeah,
go?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. No, it's not as funny. It's not as funny as the orienteering thing. But
No, but it's really...
my wife is a pediatric doctor. She works.
So she actually does God's work.
She does. Yeah. She comes home with
Laughter's the best medicine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's exactly what we say.
Can she use a compass?
Yeah, it is difficult when you meet parents from school or whatever. Like, what do you do? What do you do? It's just, and she's like, she comes home with blood on her scrubs from children. That's actually not that funny. But and then for me, it's like Higo said the wrong thing on the podcast today about orienteering. So we do have different levels of complaints about work.
Yeah.
But
Different levels.
But yeah, I just work around it as best as I can. She does wonderful work, and we just talk about cricket really, or actually the darkness of masculinity.
But we're lucky though, because of just talking about the darkness of club cricket. Really, it's how it all started. We toured India last year. We went to the Ashes. Been to the UK a couple of times. Obviously in NZ right now, it's been awesome. Get to tour Australia all the time, and then hopefully the US for the World Cup and the Caribbean later this year. So it's lucky.
Can you believe that this is where this has led you though? Talking about cricket, and you can.
Yeah, very much.
Oh, I forgot the arrogance of Aussies.
We're just getting started.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What is the plan?
I'm not
Would
sharing
you-
that with you. That's commercial in confidence. No, we
give her
can't.
a
No,
compass.
no. It is. It's very. It is. It's very, very, very silly. We played low level of grade cricket, and we just. Yeah. Sorry.
now
Do you want
I've
to
heard-
go back?
I've
I played every grade.
Yeah, I'd like to know about your cricket because you were very quick to bat off oh my God, the puns are coming today.
yeah.
You were
Compass
very quick to bat off any suggestions that you were actually all right cricketers at your show last night when you had some questions from the crowd.
not
Talk us through your
No,
cricket.
but that's because if you're in the realm of cricket and you're going to start saying I was a good player, but you talk to literally the best players, some of them ever. So what are you doing saying I know I was a pretty good player? I do a podcast with me mate.
Yeah. It's like it's a very treacherous territory you've got to tread because in Australia, no one is allowed to say that they're good at cricket. There's about 5 guys ever in the history of the game that could say that they were good. And if you ask them, could they play cricket, they'd say, I was okay. And so if Ricky Ponting's I could play a bit, and you played mainly third grade, you're never going to say to anybody I was good at cricket, at the game of cricket. You're like, I just wasted my time a bit.
In the same way that come into saying I can do the cryptic crossword, people are going to be like, oh, okay, Einstein.
Yeah,
let's show me what you got then,
Yeah, and I will get him to it the next press
Honestly,
conference. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. So you've got some big plans to travel this year. You've been doing it for 12 years now?
Yeah, about that. Full time, I think for maybe 5 or 6 now, something like that.
Yeah.
And then, because we had proper jobs before this, and then, but part time, 12, 13 years, something like that.
Yeah, the Twitter account where it was born started in 12. And
Right.
and we had jobs at the time, so we would just like tweet whenever we were, skyling off work. And but in terms of actually like making it a job, it's been about 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
And so, any major highlights? You mentioned the travelling, but is there a certain game or a certain moment that you've covered or an interview that you've done that
Probably
sticks
this.
out more than? Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
declare,
this is the
yeah.
apex.
Yep.
I would say,
Yep.
out the back of Hagley Oval in some bushes.
By the toilets?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
right by this dilapidated grounds.
I just happened to
Yeah.
be here because I had a compass out.
Yeah, a middle-aged New Zealand woman. Yeah, this is
Middle-aged?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Very middle-aged.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
fine.
not you. I was talking about the woman who
Oh,
sledged
that's
us.
sweet. Oh,
Yeah,
I
not
thought
you.
Yeah, fair.
Please.
Fair.
That would have been rude.
Yeah, that would have been
It is
terrible.
Everything else
the
has been
best
fine.
game I've ever, the best sporting event I've ever been to happened to be a cricket game. It was India, Pakistan, MCG,
22.
22,
the
the
T20 World
T20
Cup.
World
Yeah.
Cup, the one where Kohli hits a six off
Yeah.
Harris Ralph. We were at that game, and that's the best sporting event I've ever been to. It was like just the sheer chills. Like we'd been in the MCG, 96,000, 100,000, whatever there was that night, and there was every single person were in their seats watching the cricket, which is not what people in Australia go to the cricket for. They're often
No.
in bars, hanging around, having the same
I've been to the MCG, haven't
conversations.
seen the ball be bowled.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what people don't go to the MCG to watch the cricket. But that night, 100,000 people in those seats watching the game, and to come from behind victory to see Kohli do that, maybe the pinnacle of his white ball career. Maybe, I don't know. That's a big shout. I'm sure no one's going to pick that up. And so, that was just amazing. And then just being able to interview luminaries and fascinating people to make you laugh. All of it's amazing. But the single game, India, Pakistan for me.
For you?
Yeah.
Do you any one that stands out?
Being able to go to the Ashes last year was pretty hot. Like Australia, England, colonial undertones was pretty cool. Like
How were
going
you
to Lord-
received over there?
if we're being serious for once, amazingly, we did a tour there, and the English audience is great sense of humour, very adept at self-deprecation. You give it to yourself, give it to them. They're good for it both ways. But obviously this isn't going out anymore, this interview, so I'm happy just to be honest about that.
Yeah.
But
not even
no,
that.
I mean the truth is that it's great. There's a lot of great people over in the UK, and just like there is in Australia, there's little sects of people who are terrible, and
Welcome to New Zealand.
Yeah.
But also, so you both told me a little bit about that you like union, you like your league and stuff as well. Would you ever expand it to look at other sports, to go down the dark alleyways of other sports, potential battlers who play, grade rugby or anything like that, or you just strictly think
well, once again, that's commercial in confidence, but.
Yeah.
But it's
We
not
were
rolling.
talking. Yeah, exactly. We know these cameras aren't on, but no, we were talking about maybe having a look at the Olympics this year.
Oh,
But
yeah.
for us, it's not really about trying to expand and bring in bigger audience or anything like that all the time. Cricket is the thing that we know about and have an authentic, dark, hard-won knowledge about, and so expanding it to other sports, I think would show others that we're probably a little bit unders in terms of knowing exactly how it works. So I'm not sure if we will do that.
You wouldn't like to do that? You feel the same?
I mean, Sam said it. Yeah, we flirted with the idea, but I don't know. Maybe.
If you see us doing it, it means the business is struggling. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Any
I'll
suggestions?
give you a like. No,
Yeah.
I got nothing for you. I'm just trying to hold on for what I got here. So
Yeah,
I want to thank you guys very much for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you come back. I think that you could sell out a few more places, and you'll have to come back to another couple of test matches. We'd rather Australia. What's about another 10 or so years probably? Till
at
We'll
best.
see you in
At best.
2057.
Yeah, I'll see you at the MCG for our next Boxing Day test, which is in 2 or 3 years.
Is it?
If you're lucky. Yeah.
If we're lucky. Yeah, the last one didn't go so well. So thank you, and thank you.